Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Spreaker, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. We got some good stuff today. We got some what ifs that I normally don't like, but I guess I'm going to talk about them today. Duke is out of the ACC tournament, and some more NFL news as well. Alright, so you guys are watching the NBA right now, right? The 3-point shooting is going way up. Each year, it's going up higher. Teams are averaging 35 3-point attempts per game, record pace. They're averaging 12.8 made threes a game, record pace, and they're on pace for 27,731 made three-pointers in a season, so they're on pace to break that record. And it's a shortened season, too. It's only 72 games. So you get those 10 other games, that's 130 more threes that they could have made. So they could have broken the record. They could have destroyed the record. This is more entertaining than it was a couple of decades ago. I like the three-pointers. They're entertaining, and it's changing the game. And, so many people are good at shooting. Obviously, you would like to see more physicality with the foul calls. Those are a little annoying. Like, the foul calls on Doncic and Harden are unwatchable. The foul calls kind of make it boring, but I wouldn't change anything. I like the three-point shooting, and I don't think you could change anything, considering almost everyone in the NBA has adjusted to three-point shooting. So I wouldn't do anything about it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. By the way, I don't know how long this podcast is going to be. Maybe 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. So, a lot of people are saying Harden should be in the MVP conversation. I don't disagree with them. Because he changed his game in the middle of the season, and he kind of is what pushed the Nets to what they are right now, the best team in the league. But here's a question I didn't like. Who would you rather run your team with? Steph, Clay, and KD, or Harden, KD, and Kyrie? I just don't see why this is a question. It's easy. Steph is better than Kyrie, and I guess you could say Harden's better than Clay, but, the thing is, you want to know that your team, that people are going to show up in the playoffs and just be consistent throughout the season. Steph has been great in the playoffs. Clay shows up when it matters most. KD's been phenomenal all the time. And they're also good teammates as well. Harden hasn't succeeded in the playoffs that much, despite having help. And, Kyrie is a question mark as a teammate and as a player. So I think this is a no-brainer. I think Steph and Clay just simply are more reliable than Harden and Kyrie, and I think KD just makes them better. And, the Warriors is kind of a what if. Like, what if Durant was healthy in the 2019 finals, my bad. What if he was healthy? Would they have, won that? And if they won, would KD resign? It's so crazy. this is why I don't like quarterback systems. Like when people say, "Oh, it's not the quarterback system," because I mean, then you create a what if, which I normally don't like because it takes me a long time to explain them. But there's so many what ifs in the NFL and NBA. What if John Elway went to the Colts? What if what if Belichick stayed with the Jets? What if Nick Saban got Drew Brees? What if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt? That's insane. It's insane how so many careers benefit from like luck and like fate. You know, what if Eli was on the Chargers? What if Harden didn't get traded? It's insane. Sorry. I came up with another what if. What if the Bucks got what's his name? Bo Jackson. Because they drafted him number 1 overall in the 86 draft, I believe. But he didn't want to go there. So they traded him and shipped him off. So, it would have completely turned on their franchise because they were bad, the Bucks. Because they basically wasted that pick. They went 2-14 the next year. Or no, sorry, 4-11 the next year. So the next 5 years, 4-11, 5-11, 5-11, 6-10, 3-13. That was that 5? Yeah, okay. Next 5 years, they averaged 23 divided by 5. 5 wins a year. So, Bo Jackson could have really helped that franchise. Because let's see what the Raiders did with Bo Jackson. Crap. Sorry, I'm trying to get it up on Pro Football Reference. Alright. 86 Raiders. Yeah, so the 86 Raiders, they were 8-8. Then they got Bo Jackson, 5-10, 7-9, 8-8, and then 12-4 the next year. Did they have Bo Jackson that year? I forget when he retired. Yep. Eventually got to 12-4. And 9-7. Was that the year with him? No, that was the year he retired. Alright, so with Bo Jackson, even though they weren't, a dominant team with him, like they didn't completely turn the franchise around, they were much better than the Bucks. Turned out a lot better because you're averaging 5 wins to the 12, 32 divided by 4. So they averaged 8 wins a year. Bucks averaged 5. So, the Bucks get Bo Jackson. They would have been more successful, and maybe they could have gone into the playoffs or done anything else other than just sit around there as a crap franchise. Because they didn't. They're one of the. When you really think about it, one of the least successful franchises in the history of the sports. Because the Browns had the longest playoff drought up until this year, and the second longest was the Bucks in 2007. And now the longest is the Jets, 2010. And people kind of ignore that because of how bad the Browns were. But people forget the Bucs are not that far behind. And they only have one Super Bowl. That's equivalent to the Jets. So, actually, they have two now. They have two. They won two. Okay. But before this, they had one. They weren't on Texans and Lions level, but they were on Jets, Browns level. They're not very successful. And speaking of the draft, the Combine will not happen this year. But honestly, I feel like it's more informative, if you watch what they do. It's more informative what they do. Like, you get more information from what they do in the game, more than what they do with no one on them, you know? If you don't go, 11 for 11 passing in the Combine, I'd be concerned. Trey Lance, who I think is a phenomenal athlete, he's expected to go to one of the mid, 15, 20 picks right there, but, the Combine sometimes, really helps players, especially in players that are injured. Trey Lance, we didn't see much from him this year, but, here, look. He got Josh Allen comparisons, from his pro day, but, he didn't play this year, so it's tough to judge him. What he's gonna do. Tua was injured. But we figured, okay, he's still a great athlete. Well, not a great athlete, great, kind of like a Drew Brees. Not a great athlete, but, accurate passer. He wasn't this year. But, Trey Lance played how many games? 18. 18 games in his college career. You didn't get to see much. But the one full year he played, 67% completion percentage, 28 touchdowns, no picks. So he looks good, but we don't get a lot of information from him. So if he were in the Combine, we'd see a little more. Alright. So, Jerry Jones went on, I don't know whose show, but he said something about Dak that I'm not sure what it means, and I don't want to overreact to it, because I feel like people are going to think, oh, you're contradicting yourself because you didn't overreact to Aaron Rodgers, his comments. But you definitely have to address these things. So let's address. Here is what Jerry Jones said on that podcast.